It's Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance in the San Gabriel Valley today, and we are joined by Lloyd Johnson. He is a new member of the West Covina City Council. He's got a great story. He ran in 2013,
Yes.
and what happened on Election Day?
Well, on Election Day in November the 3rd, 2013, I actually won.
By how many votes?
At that time, at the end of the election, it was probably about a dozen.
A dozen votes.
Yeah,
Okay.
close to it.
A couple days later,
I lost by 2 votes.
by 2 votes. And what's interesting is the individual that wound up getting sworn in, we know him well, Mike Spence. The election wasn't firmly decided on swearing in day. There still could have been a change.
That's right. Because as losing by 2 votes, we asked for a recount.
Right, and the recount wound up being held after swearing in.
After swearing in.
And you wound up winning or losing?
I ended up losing by a total of 8 votes.
Was it 8 votes total in the end?
He gained 6 more votes.
Okay, so in the end, you didn't win. It was one of those races where you weren't running against each other per se. It was top 2 or 3.
It's a top 3.
It was top 3. He came in third. You came in fourth.
Third, I came in fourth.
But there's a good news ending. What happened in 2015?
Well, in 2015, I ran again, and then I was elected.
Not against Mike Spence.
Not against Mike Spence. You know, to me, you don't run against anyone.
Right, exactly.
You're running for a seat on the city council.
Right.
And I received the top vote in 2015.
And there were 2 elected.
There was 2 elected.
And you were the top vote
I was
getter.
the top vote
And
getter.
interestingly, I believe he
The
was the incumbent mayor.
Yeah,
Wasn't he
lost.
mayor at that moment?
Yes, he lost.
Yeah, Mr. Fred Sykes had lost.
He
So
lost.
that was a big surprise. So you won, and
Tony Wu,
another non-incumbent, correct?
non-incumbent one. You know, it was very interesting because the residents have spoken.
Right.
You know, in 2013, they were very dissatisfied with the establishment as a council.
Well,
so they got rid of them.
Right. Well,
They
we
voted him out of
know
office.
during that era,
Yes.
there was an audit
I'm
by
telling you,
the
yeah.
state controller dealing with activities, I think dating back to the last
Yes,
decade, if I can
thank you.
say.
Yeah, I like to say, Brad, about our former council.
Right.
You know, the problem with it is that a lot of elected, they get on there for the right reason.
Right.
And as time goes by, they're on there longer and longer and longer. I feel they lose their way. They forget why they were there in the first
Right.
place.
So let's talk about your way. You've now been on the council for several months, I guess you could
Since,
say.
yeah, basically December.
Right. And
Last year.
how is it for you? I mean, is it more than you could have ever dreamed? Is it, oh no, what did I get myself into?
No, I've really been an activist in the city for almost 18 years.
Oh, wow.
And in the last 15 years, I missed probably about, you can say, less than a dozen council meetings.
Really?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, West Covina, not a small city. I mean,
No,
this
we
is
have
a city.
115,000.
Right, and a lot of great commerce,
Yes, we do.
malls, kind of one of the main cities in this part of the San Gabriel
almost 17
Valley.
square miles.
Right, so it's a nice sized
It's a
city.
nice
Once you
sized
get
city.
over 50, 100,000, you're dealing with a
Yes.
city that needs to be governed.
With a lot of issues, a lot of issues.
And let's talk about some of those issues, and it deals with the actual elected members of the city council. And I'm going to play the other side for you,
want
if
you
you
to.
may.
Sure.
And prior to your election,
Yes.
the city council members in West Covina, a city of over 100,000, were entitled to receive life insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, and health insurance. They were entitled to receive a $300 car allowance per month. They were entitled to receive a $300 pension contribution, and they were entitled to receive $765 a month.
Yes.
I mean, not the most generous package I've ever heard, but not the least generous.
No.
You know, kind of in the middle. But when you ran for office, you were very clear about council benefits. What
Yes.
was your platform?
My platform on this is that as a council, you're not hired. You are elected. You're a volunteer. I call it a volunteer.
But I hear
okay.
you. I hear you. But look, you have the benefit of having, and by the way, I honor all of your service.
That's okay.
But you have the benefit of having been a veteran.
Yes.
You were an iron worker, so presumably you had a nice pension.
Oh, I still do.
And you have nice benefits
Yeah.
from the Veterans Administration. And so having less benefits as an elected official of West Covina is not a hamper, does not crimp your lifestyle.
No. No.
There are those that don't have what you have.
Right.
And look, obviously we're not trying to get rich when we run for office,
No.
but is it too much to ask that at least the elected official, we know it's part-time, but they can at least get health benefits, life insurance?
Well, the way we've set it up is that if they want the health insurance or the life insurance, they can pay for it out of their stipend.
Yeah, so let's talk about what happened, because you fought hard.
Okay.
You
We
fought
can
hard,
go
and on
there.
a 4-to-1 vote,
Yeah.
the benefits were adjusted, let's say.
Yes.
Life, dental, vision, health, still can get it, but now the council member pays.
Councilman.
Car allowance drops to $150.
Yes.
The $765 a month stipend stays,
Stays.
but no pension benefit.
No pension. The reason why, Brad, the no pension benefits is that, to me, I believe a pension benefit should be for an employee. If you're hired to do a job, you're working for a
you
company.
were hired. You
No,
were
no, no.
voted.
I was voted by the people. The people voted me in. The people voted me out. If they want, when the time comes,
Right.
it's up to the people. If I don't do the job right,
Right.
and they don't like what I've done, that's their prerogative. I don't have to answer to the city. Our city is ran by a city manager.
Right, it's a city manager form of
Okay,
government, of
so
course.
We set policy, and it's up to him to follow the policy that the city council sets.
Right.
So benefits is something, I feel that when a council does the job that they're elected for, say for 4 years, and they say they
Right.
don't want to run anymore, they should walk away, say thank you for letting me have the privilege to work for the city. You owe me nothing for doing that.
I hear you, and it's noble, and I concur with your sentiment. But in the end, sir, you know, this is a part-time position, but it takes a lot of time.
A lot.
It takes a lot of time.
And that's where your stipend comes in. I have no problem with that. $765 a month. And I even gave in. I wanted to do away with the whole car allowance and let them put a voucher in. It say that you drive your car somewhere, you can turn it into the city.
I
and stuff like
understand,
that.
yeah.
No, I had no problem with that. But I agreed, and I gave in. I wanted to do it to the $150 a month for them.
let's
even
talk
though I'm
about-
still not taking it.
Let's talk, which is your
That's
your
my
option.
obligation.
But let's talk about maybe someone on the other end. Forgive me, of the age
no, that's okay,
spectrum,
that's okay.
because you
No.
are retired.
Yes.
You know, let's say there's a 28-year-old kid, 32-year-old adult that would like to run for office.
Yes.
They don't have life insurance, health insurance, pension benefits.
But
and
most
so
of them
are
are
you
working.
they are working, but you know that the amount of employers that are providing health care is dropping. Is it a disincentive to not at least give them that the crumb? Again, I'm playing the other side.
I want you to.
Yeah,
you know,
the crumb of health insurance.
What I want from anybody in the future that wants to have public service and serve our city, I want to make sure their heart's in the right place.
Right.
You know,
But by
one of
definition-
one of the other councilmen said, Tony Wu, which he was of the dissenting vote, he says he felt that you should offer him something to run, an incentive for the health insurance and stuff like that.
Right.
I think the incentive should be what comes in
You
your
get
heart.
to be a council
What
member.
comes in your heart? Do I want to serve? Now remember, any council in the future can give all the benefits back.
They could
want.
change this, but it's hard to undo.
You know, we left it there. If a council in the future come and say, no, we want our benefits, they can vote it back in, but then they have to answer to the residents of West Covina.
Were the residents of West Covina itching to see this changed?
When I was campaigning, I never had one negative part about
This issue.
About this issue.
But it's
They
easy.
wanted to change it.
But
They
it's
were
easy.
ready.
I mean, it's easy to bash the politicians.
They
but
were
I
ready
honor
for a
you.
change. They were ready for a change. They've seen the disarray our city was in from the past council.
the audit.
You know, the problem even with the benefits, it was tied at the very beginning. They tied it to the department heads. Whenever they got a raise, they got something, the city council got one.
You'll come back?
I will come back.
He is Lloyd Johnson. He is a new member of the West Covina City Council. I'm in the San Gabriel Valley. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's Charter Local Edition. Great job.
Thanks.
It's a tricky one, this
Yeah.
issue.